He was on the show between 93 and 99 and had 3 crashes of his own during that time. Alongside him, the actor, former Coronation Street star Charlie Lawson, and the author and commentator May Mangan. So, Steve, talk to me about your time on the show, because it sounds like actually Top Gear hasn't necessarily always put safety first, but is that something that you sign up for if you're a presenter? Are you aware of the danger associated with working on Top Gear?
Well, the difference back then, Dan, was that back then they used to recruit motoring journalists. I'd been the editor of 3 motorbike magazines before I saw a TV camera, and I was completely aware of the dangers that could often occur in the world of powered two-wheelers. You know, I was under no illusion. Motorcycles are dangerous. That's one of the reasons that I like them so much. You know, I've had probably 3 or 4 serious accidents in 40 years of motorcycling. Ones where you're lying there like somebody in a carry-on film with your leg in the air, and, you know, you've had a couple of MRI scans and people are nervously clutching Lucozade bottles and grapes at the end of the bed. But it's, you know, I didn't think that would never happen. The problem for me with modern Top Gear is that you're asking a cricketer and the sort of Neto Peter Kay to do things that really should be done by people who know what they're doing. But the problem is the viewer. That's the problem.
Got it. So it's the fact that they're not experts. Out of interest, though, Steve, you say you had 3 crashes when you were actually on Top Gear. One of them was hushed up, but also that you were allowed to continue to film on Top Gear even though you had been banned from driving for 6 months. Is that true?
Yes. But
wow.
I'm not, they just sent me abroad where I could still drive back then, because there was something called an international driver's permit, which if you knew you were going to get banned in the UK, you could go to an AA or RAC office, get one of these very official looking documents, and if you went abroad, you could just show them that instead of a driving licence. Because as everybody knows, back in the day, when you produced a British driving licence with no photograph, foreign cops used to look at it and like, what the hell's this? And you're like, that's a driving licence. An IDP had 2 photographs and a big crest on the front. It didn't mean anything. I was banned from driving in the UK. And I'm not complaining. I knew what the risks were. I'm glad my boss managed to keep me in a job, despite the fact that I was banned from driving. But the problem now is people want to watch an amateur doing something that a professional should be doing. That's why Come Dancing, which used to be on in the middle of the night with Terry Wogan extracting the urine out of professional ballroom dancers, hasn't been on telly for 30 years. But Strictly Come Dancing, which is people who can't dance trying to dance, is primetime Saturday night.
Yeah, it's the celebrity
people want to see
aspect of it.
That's why they liked Evel Knievel. Why did people turn up to...
Oh, no, we've lost Steve, but while we're trying to get him back, May Mangan, you say, no, this is incredibly dangerous and Top Gear should be axed, but don't these presenters sign up to it, May?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't necessarily. I think it should be moved from the BBC so that licence payers aren't paying to watch dead boys, soon to be dead boys in their toys, playing and then covering the cost of it. So move it to Channel 4 and they can combine it with Naked Attraction, and then you can have naked blokes driving around in cars getting themselves killed. I think it's a show for morons. I think it's the people who take part in it and risk their life for big bucks are morons. But if people want to watch it, great. Get off the BBC.
So, Steve, you're a moron, according to May.
A massive money earner for the BBC all round the world. And if she wants to sit on her sofa getting even wider than she is now, while the rest of us are out in the world doing things and actually living. Yeah. I've just spent last week riding 1,300 miles on a motorcycle around Scotland.
You enjoy
and I've had more thrills and more excitement than you've had in your life, love, in a week.
Okay, well, look, let me bring Charlie Lawson in. Charlie, so 2 very different opinions here on Top Gear. Are you siding with Steve or May?
Well, Anna, darling, I don't know you, so good evening, Steve. I think I ran into you years before, but nice to meet you. Yeah. And I'm just a humble lovey, so to speak. But my answer to the question is no, it shouldn't be banned. And I'll tell you why, Dan and everybody. we have bred a generation of the most risk-averse young people on the planet, and they're continually disappointing me and many other people. If you start taking, I mean, those Paddy and Freddie live in my village, and I happen to know that although they are, I agree with you, Steve, they're not professional drivers, professional racers, or anything else, they know the risks. I understand the argument about, television. You got the viewers and crashes are crashes are crashes, and I get all that. All right, but I'm not a moron, and I suspect many of the other people who watch it aren't morons either. My concern is every sport has its dangers. I mean, the BBC got rid of horse racing, and I know horse racing backwards. I've ridden in a race, and I know race horses. Horse racing is dangerous, but you can't stop showing it on TV because it's dangerous.
No.
The BBC have a winning formula here, and they should keep it. Now,
because you wouldn't show Formula One, would you?
Obviously,
you wouldn't show boxing.
Exactly, boxing and every other sports that we used to, children used to be encouraged to participate in. They're now so risk averse. You know, you can't even play a game of friggin' conkers anymore. No. You know what I mean?
No, but I guess
somebody complained about it.
I guess, though, what the issue is here, though, Steve, is that you look at the pictures of Freddie Flintoff. This is one of our most loved celebrities. He has clearly gone through absolute hell. Is there not a little part of you, Steve, that just feels like, oh, this is going to be really difficult for the BBC to justify doing this show anymore?
Mate, I flipped a car filming the show upside down in a ditch, completely destroyed, had to climb out of that car. 6 months later, they said to me, oh, Steve, could you just come and have a look at this screen? Oh, there's a picture of you. You had a different haircut then than you've got now. Could you get that haircut again? Because we want to finish that feature. I went back and got in the rebuilt car and finished the feature.
So,
I feel for Freddie. I feel like a lot of people were looking at him now and thinking, that was months and months ago. And look at him now.
Yeah,
what was it like
So
after it happened?
Mr. Kahunas is prepared to, Mr. Kahunas is prepared to mess about his own life, but the BBC shouldn't be paying these people to do that. It's akin to taking MasterChef and getting them all to have a bit of knife throwing. And by the way, it's not a sport. Yes. It's not a sport. It's different to boxing.
May Mangan, Charlie Lawson, Steve Berry, former Top Gear presenter. Fascinating debate. Thank you all. Should say, both sides of the story here on GBNews, the Health and Safety Executive has cleared the BBC of any breaches over Flintoff's clash. The corporation declined to comment tonight on what it called speculation about the future of the show. So who do you agree with? Should Top Gear be axed for safety reasons? Sean writes, I'm a Top Gear fan and I don't think it should be axed, but after Richard Hammond's accident in 2006, the show has clearly not learned any lessons. From Stuart, the show should have been axed after Hammond's crash, then after Clarkson's firing, and it certainly should be cut now, but the BBC too arrogant to consider it. And Valerie writes, the world will be an extremely depressing place when we stop taking risks and wrap ourselves in cotton wool. Your verdict is now an interesting list. Just 39% of you say Top Gear should be axed for safety reasons, 61% of you saying that it should go on.